Is the lore of the Big Waagh any good in patch 6.0.5? Well, it's as good as it always was, and at least in terms of general popularity, it outstrips the Little Waagh by a mile, but Wurzag cheese is partly responsible for that. It's powerful, absolutely, so let's take a good look and not try to judge simply in terms of it being of if bigger is better, but how to use it at key moments to turn the tide of the Waagh. The passive is the Power of the Waagh, providing plus 80% to Wind's Recharge or double Arcane Conduit, each and every time a Big Waagh spell is cast, at least for 25 seconds. It's hard for this not to be good, and moreover, it's not dependent on the enemy having spellcasters to debuff. Gaze of Mork is superficially exactly the same as Vindictive Glare, same damage profile, same 5 winds. However, it does behave a little bit differently. It's more like a bullet. However, the upgraded version has a ridiculous cast range of 500 meters to do the same damage. You want to initiate a battle? This is an option. Brain Burst Off sounds like something Psykers do in Dark Tide. It's a 15 meter radius explosion effect, 23 points of magical base damage, 0 armor piercing, ranges 200 meters, 7 winds, and basically feels like a love tap, but it is damage. The 10 winds overcharged version does 50% more damage, and 32% of that total damage becomes armor piercing. Fists of Gork grants magical attacks and plus 24 melee attack and plus 24 melee defense to a single unit for 35 seconds, 200 meter range, 45 second cooldown, costs 7 winds, no overcast version. It can be cast on the caster himself. Edbutt costs 5 winds default and is a breath spell doing 32 magical damage with 0 armor piercing, 150 meter range, cooldown of 45 seconds. And it's really good at knocking stuff on its butt. And that's very good if they're braced spearmen and you're doing a charge into them. Overcast version for 9 winds does 44 damage instead, again 0 armor piercing. So this is your cheaper option for adding plenty of damage to low armored units and not suitable for anything much else. Now for one of the bigger deals, advanced spell number 1, Here We Go. For 11 winds, 200 meter range, 35 meter radius, 38 second duration, 47 seconds cooldown, all allies in that radius get melee attack plus 40. That's a massive short-term boost and can make the difference between victory now and victory after a lot of unnecessary damage to your side, if you use it in the right place. There is no overcast version. Foot of Gork has quite a bit of fame to it. For a whopping 18 winds default, 200 meter range, 20 meter radius, that's 48 points of magical damage, of which 33% is armor piercing. Overcast, it's an even more whopping 26 winds, but damage is 72 per entity, 33% of which is armor piercing. That's enough to even get dwarf attention. Cooldown is 54 seconds. Now 33% isn't anywhere near 100%. It's just that the damage is enough to seriously knock units down a peg, and you can make a case for using it against lots of opponents. But it's also your only real instant blob destroyer. This is what you center around your giant to tickle the giant and obliterate everything ankle-biting around it. While it's not complicated as lores go, the early spells are not the easiest to work around in terms of damage for armor-piercing opponents, though they're actually pretty good at wrecking low armor ones, given enough use. Aside from Foot of Gork, it's the melee attack boosts that shine, and being able to hand a single unit magical attack at will helps enormously against dodging or ethereal units. Basically, it does a pretty good job of raw aggression, and that's what you want out of it, but using cheap spells to fuel Spirit Leech Hag use against an elite target works just fine. So there are ways to be cunning with this lore too. Take care, and have fun smashing enemies in the face with Fists of Gork, and trampling them under the foot.